So when we annotate, one of the first things we want to do is to look at any titles, any chapter headings, and any photos to give us clues as to what the text is about. For each section, we may want to create a question to guide our brain to know what to think about as we read. And as we're reading, we're going to take notes in the margin. We're going to try to write maybe around one sentence, one little phrase to kind of get the big idea. We can note any details, facts, figures, people actions, and then circle any or highlight any vocab words that we may want to look up, and any questions that we need clarity on. Here's just a simple rubric that kind of gives us insight into what our goal is. We want to be a 5. So for the number of annotations, we say we want an ample margin notes, and we'll see what that looks like. So a lot of notes on the side. Quality of the annotations, okay, they should be insightful and make connections. And the quality of writing should be neat so that when we come back we can read it. Okay, as we go to the reading, our first section is the Voyage of the Mayflower. And we want to kind of skim through. We see the term Pilgrims and Mayflower Compact are bold, so those are going to be important. What we'll do next, we'll zoom in, we'll create a little question for this section. Alright, so a question that comes to mind is, why was this important? Okay, or why was the Mayflower Compact important? Okay, as we read through this, okay, one of the first things I notice is that we're talking about a group called the Separatists. So I kind of want to define that on the side of the notes, just to give myself some information on that I could use later. Here I'm kind of putting some notes on the side for the word them, just to give myself some information. That's the Pilgrims. Sometimes authors will write it, they, them, he or she, and we want to really make sure that we're connecting those words. Now I'm going to define the word dissatisfied. I had to look it up. The word was unhappy. That's a synonym for that, so that I can make sense of that sentence. Again, the word they comes up. I'm not sure who they are. I may have to read the sentence before just to get an idea, and that's going to be about the Pilgrims. So they're going to settle. Now that I understand that the author is using the word they to refer to the Pilgrims, I can now write my little notes in the margin that they wanted to settle in America for religious freedom. And as I come to near the end of my note-taking, one of the key vocab words that is going to stand out in this text is Mayflower Compact. Now this is a social studies text. Okay, you can use this very similar strategy in any nonfiction text or readings. We'll look at maybe some fiction writing and see how that maybe differs in the future. So now I'm going to go through the notes that I took, and I'm going to kind of start to record the important pieces of information from each paragraph. And I'm using this worksheet to kind of build my internal brain's thoughts on how to then summarize from here. So I'm writing down some of the facts, and this is good to do in the beginning so that you can get used to how to write an actual summary. So again, the process was taking a look at the reading, annotating, taking notes in the margin, looking up any facts that we needed to look up, such as vocab. And if we have questions on a section and we can't make sense of it, maybe we can use other notes. We can go onto YouTube, we can check our textbook, we can check Google, and in the last case resort, we can always go to extra help. Now, once we have all of the text made sense for us, and we look at our notes, now we're going back down to this worksheet that we're going to use every once in a while to record the main ideas from the reading. Once I look over my notes and the main ideas I have, I then want to think, what's the biggest idea? And that becomes my topic sentence. That's the main idea of my paragraph. And so here we're going to say that why the Pilgrims left England. And that will be the main idea that drives the paragraph. Every sentence after this topic sentence will be information to support that topic sentence. It's kind of like a mini thesis statement, but it's just for the paragraph. And when we write a thesis statement, that's going to be for the whole entire essay. Okay, so now here's a copy of our summary paragraph. We started off with our topic sentence, the Pilgrims left England and went to America seeking religious freedom. Then we're going to look at how we use different transition statements to make sense of those facts, combine some of those ideas, which we have in our transition word bank. So going in order from the text in our notes, we are going to say that the Pilgrims were against the Catholic Church in England, and as a result, were persecuted by the king. Right? So we're talking about cause and effect. Therefore, right, what's going on next? Therefore, they desired to settle in America. The Pilgrims arrived in America in 1620, so I'm bringing in a specific piece of detail for that analysis, which led to, now I'm giving some bigger thoughts here, the creation of the Mayflower Compact. An effect of this was the idea of self-government by the colonists without the king's control. So this is just a nice summary of that paragraph, and it tells us, the teachers, that you understood what you read.